What is up, sports fans? We are back for another episode of The Fan in the End. I'm your host, as always, Stephen Rychel. Big man to the right, as always, Mr. Ben Troupe. And rejoining us, our good friend, our brother, Mr. Marvin Powell III. Marvin, how are we feeling this evening, my friend?
Fight on, gentlemen. Doing really well. We got USC football in 9 days. That's another subject, but I'm doing well. Thank you.
Ben, how was your weekend, brother?
Man, it's always good. I think it's fun to have Marvin on. Listen, Marvin represents SC, not to you Gamecock fans out there who listen. He's in SEC country, but he's SC all day. Hey man, it should be looking forward to a fun show.
That's right.
Yeah, we're gonna have a fun one, and with all the stuff going on, as Marvin said, 9 days away from college football. Last few days. We've gotten some news out. We knew it was coming, but the sanctions have officially come down for the Michigan football program for the sign stealing. Here's the whole layout, the fines, the stuff being handed down to the coaches, reduction in their football recruiting. Things of that nature, but no wins overturned. Nothing too crazy. Some people thought it was going to be more. I'm going to start off with Marvin on this one. What are your thoughts? Is this a little slap on the wrist for Michigan compared to what was done, or do you feel the crime warranted the punishment here?
Listen, the NCAA destroyed USC a few years back for some infractions, and it set our program back 15 years, a decade. I kid you not. When I see these guys sign stealing, which to me it's a huge deal. I mean, if you could read a team's signs and you know what they're going to do, gives you a tremendous advantage in a game of inches. In a game of inches, if you have an idea as to what they're going to switch to, what they're going to audible to, or whatever it may be, their calls, that gives you an advantage. Like no other. You might as well have their play sheet. You know what I mean? To be honest with you, and for them to come at them with financial fines and show cause and all this stuff, if you're not hitting those scholarships, and you're not taking away wins, and you're not taking away that championship, what are you doing? To fine them $20-30 million, that's chump change to a university. That's chump. Texas A&M is paying Jimbo Fisher $75 million to walk away and get the next guy, $30 or $40 million. It's a slap on the wrist. To me, it's them probably just being shook from the backlash they took from what they did to USC. But this is absolutely a slap on the wrist. This is not, when you look at the crime and they say they have overwhelming evidence of what they've done, the way that they're looking to resolve it is weak. It's weak, and to me, it just says that they don't want to really do anything at all. Because again, if you want to punish a program in college football, you take away their scholarships, and that is everything. This was a weak move by the NCAA, and it doesn't surprise me at all.
I want to go back on that one too, because you're right. Well, I don't remember if there was a recent fraction or when the whole Reggie Bush thing. They absolutely destroyed.
They killed us. Over there. They killed us. We lost 15 scholarships a year, I think, for like 3 years, something like that. We're out. I mean, we're out there playing. We don't want to have a too deep roster in some positions. So, I mean, it was that bad, and we couldn't compete in that Pac-10, Pac-12. Playing with 50 guys on scholarship. You can't do that. That's how. And if they felt USC was wrong, they were right for what they did, even though they really couldn't prove it. Nevertheless, looking at Michigan and what they did, you're talking about the integrity of the game. You're talking about the safety of players. You can go on and on with that. But this is what you call textbook slap on the wrist. Michigan alum fans and players are laughing at this, and they're applauding this because this is nothing to them. This will have minimal impact based upon what they've done moving forward.
Ben, your thoughts?
Mark Emmer used to be the commissioner of the NCAA. He stepped down. Now Charlie Baker is he's the commissioner. The reason why no one knows them because they're nobodies. They don't do anything. So let me get this straight. When players mess up, it makes national news. You trying to find a way to just ridicule them. You forget the fact they're 18 to 24-year-olds. Not only does Harbaugh keep the national championship, he's in the National Football League. He doesn't have to comment on it. He's not going to get fined. So what? He can't come around Michigan for 10 years? Wow. I think the thing about it that makes it the most laughable thing is you're stealing. You're stealing signs, and nothing really happened. You got a Netflix special about this, right? This kind of sounds like when the Patriots were stealing signs, and they didn't really do anything. You know, this sounds like Deflategate, and this sounds like, Bountygate. Let's burn all the stuff so they can't see it. Michigan is one of the biggest brands in college football. It's a part of college football fabric. They don't lack funds. They don't lack resources. They don't lack eyes. And they're laughing at this. You made us wait this long for this. They didn't have to stop practicing for this. They didn't have to call a meeting for this. Harbaugh should have to, listen, he should get fined money, wins, scholarships. But this is what makes it messed up. I think the only people that should be getting fined is the people that did it. That should be the sign still in Harbaugh. So let's say you don't take no stuff from Michigan because the players itself didn't do it. The players. Why are we so afraid to come at these coaches like we come at players, though? Reggie Bush, yes, his family moved up there. They moved up there to Pasadena or Los Angeles. Yes, they signed their name in the concrete. He gave back all that money. He paid back the money that his parents got. To then have his Heisman Trophy winner stripped, to then have the Heisman Trophy committee have to give it back, but they want to do it in private. Nope, you didn't take it from me in private. You're going to give it back to me in public. You're going to apologize in public. I don't like the NCAA for this type of stuff. What are you investigating? Is the NCAA afraid of Michigan? Let's not do too much. Why? They're stealing. Could you imagine, Marvin? Could you imagine, Stephen, if this was players stealing? The players were stealing signs because it's always the product that's the problem. It's not the one that coaches the product. It's never the coach. You mentioned Jimbo Fisher, Marvin. That's a great. They paid Jimbo to leave. He didn't do anything at Texas A&M. He made more money.
$75 million.
$75 million contract, fully guaranteed, and he renegotiated, and he got an extension when he was there. He had the number one recruiting class, I want to say, in 2023, and did nothing. When we talk about, we're going to get into it. When we talk about prestigious colleges, Texas A&M ain't one of them. They are not. Now, they get all money. It's them in Texas. But outside of that, what are we talking about? When I saw this, Harbaugh can go to the league and say no comment. I'm moving on to the next team I got in the preseason, right? Slap in the face. That's how much he loves y'all as players. If you are a former Michigan Wolverine, you want to say Harbaugh was the best. He don't care because the current crop of players are dealing with something they had nothing to do with. Most of these players, they get recruited by Harbaugh. They know who he was, but I'm not shocked. The only time the NCAA is going to try to make an example of somebody in college, they have to be a player. They're not going to do it to coaches. Coaches do all – man, coaches done did everything. They done did everything you can name. Name it, they've done it, and walked away with their money. Walked away with their reputation. And guess what? Jimbo Fisher can still get another job now. He just don't want to coach no more. He can still coach. Somebody will hire him. Harbaugh could come back to college right now, and somebody will hire him. And you know he like to steal, which means – you think I'm not saying he's stealing signs, with the Chargers. I'm saying he want to do it, but now he know they got eyes on him. Hey man, we can't, because people think these are not isolated incidents. So you're telling me the Houston Astros, when y'all won the World Series, y'all got a camera that goes from the center field all the way to the dugout, all the way to the catcher. Y'all got all them trash cans, and they still let y'all keep y'all World Series. So if cheating doesn't matter, don't get mad. Do not get mad when your rival team cheats, wins, beats you, and they go, hey man, listen, my hand ain't in the cookie jar. This is not this. The reason the weakest commissioner in sports, right, got to be Charlie Baker, because most people don't know who he is. He wants to go faceless and nameless because he doesn't do anything. Like, what are we waiting on? If you're Ohio State, if you're Penn State, you're like, what? Because if they were stealing from everybody. I guarantee they were stealing from everybody. Hey, it's much to do about nothing. Harbaugh going to go on with his life. He's going to wear his Lululemon slacks, whatever he wears. And, hey, man, we going. Lululemon is nice, man. Expensive, but very, very nice. I would say I want to be surprised, but I'm not. And if you are Reggie Bush and SC, if you are at SMU, if you are at Miami, you're thinking, what? Yeah. That's it? That's it's either fair across the board or there is definitely favor. The NCAA tried its best to take down SC twice. They tried to do it twice. Marv was talking about it, and they tried to do it in the Matt Lyon and Reggie Bush era. It didn't work. Reggie Bush. If you think me taking money makes me a better football player, you're a liar. Reggie Bush was Reggie Bush, money and I. You know, he drove a 96 Impala. Come on, man. What are we, Reggie? So now, hey Reggie, man, we apologize. No, say in public and do a press conference. How y'all shamed me. Walk on. Well, Reggie, I wasn't the commissioner then. Don't care. You here now, right? All right. Well, it's not. I don't got to listen. I'm not. If I'm going to pay my phone bill, ma'am, I'm not yelling at you. You just got, you got Verizon on your shirt. So I'm yelling at Verizon. You just got the shirt on. I'm not yelling at you. My bill is too high. Don't give me that. I wanna do it behind closed doors. I don't want to hear nothing about transfer portal. I don't want to hear nothing about no NIL. When a head coach can steal signs and get a promotion, we gave you a natty that you cheated. And now you in the National Football League trying to win Super Bowls. Hey, Harbaugh, you guys just had some sanctions in Michigan. No comment. And that reporter better not ask another. Think about it. That reporter better not ask one more about it. People be thinking, hey man, Jerry Jones be bullying people in the media. Oh, he ain't the only one. Oh, coaches do it all the time. Yeah. All the time. That when they call you by name saying, why you asking me about that? Because you was at Michigan and you stole signs. How you know that? It's a Netflix special. Oh yeah. Well, I'm just in the picture. Like I ain't really steal them. Oh, so they ain't get their orders from you? No comment. So hey, but like I said, SC, Ohio State, every other team that play Michigan, it's free game. I don't want to hear nothing, Michigan. I don't want to hear nothing. And now Ohio State saying, dang, did y'all really beat us the last 3 years? Like, did y'all really beat us? Or did y'all? Because at first, Michigan, Harbaugh was there for 9 years. You know how many times he won? 3. He only beat Ohio State 3 times. He was getting waxed. When he started stealing, they started winning. Then when and anything ironic, after he won the natty, he got up out of there. Because he knew what was coming. Man, this stuff is planned out. And you're going to have to show me different. And man, it's 2025. The only people the rules apply to are the players, not the coaches. Yeah. So
yeah, definitely. And just to clarify, when we talk about Jimbo Fisher and that $75 million, he didn't have a contract for $75 million. They paid him $75 million to leave.
Yep.
So that's what we're saying. Like for a university to be fined $30 million, like Ben said, they laughing at that. They applauding it. They popping champagne to write that check. That's nothing to them.
Oh yeah, some booster said, "I got it." No. Yeah. Some billionaire's going, "No, I'm gonna pay this one," because I'm telling you, it's I don't know. It's one of those things, Marvin. If it was me, we wouldn't just get to walk away.
Nah,
it wouldn't just be no comment. What you mean? So you're not gonna comment on it? What I just say? You're not gonna say anything? No. Yeah. But what I'm saying is, nothing screams I don't care more than doodling where you lay and then acting like you ain't do it. You did this, Harbaugh. And here's the thing. I'm not saying Harbaugh isn't a good coach, but if you cheat, I don't know how good of a coach you are. Because almost winning the Super Bowl is cool. Your brother won one, and you haven't beaten your brother since you've been a head coach. But now at Michigan, you're saying to yourself, if Michigan doesn't win another national championship, which they probably won't, people are going to be saying, did y'all win because of that? Because SC, when it was Matt Leinart, Lindell White, Reggie Bush, and them guys, y'all went to 3 straight natties. Sure 2002, 2003, 2004. Because when I met Lindell White, he said, I don't know nothing about a bowl game. Well, I only play the natties. And the team they lost to had to be one of the greatest teams ever in Texas. But and the biggest controversy was Reggie Bush family moved up there. Really? That's the best y'all got? That's the best y'all got? Come on, man. Let's do better.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the NCAA needs to do better here. I definitely sentiment with all your guys' comments here. It's just it's not enough. Obviously, I said it was a slap on the wrist. You see it right there in the description of the show. It is. There's no talking around it. There's no talking down it. When you see what's been done to other teams, it's disgusting. They need to do better. And we've seen in other sports where it's one of those things they just try to slide it under the rug. Baseball, football, whatever. And I don't want to hear the phrase "you ain't trying if you ain't cheating." That's nonsense. I don't want to hear that phrase, especially when it comes to professional athletics. Now, if you talking to you a high school, college student, son, you doing an academic test, sure, it's not costing people millions of dollars. So
Yeah.
that line I'll go with, but I want to move on to this next one. Obviously, me and Ben have been talking about this throughout the year, and we're gonna kick it off because Daniel Jones is named the Week 1 starter in Indianapolis. Is Anthony Richardson done now? I think he's done, right?
Again, this kid only played 14 games in college, I think. When you look at some of these other quarterbacks,
I think he's only played 21 games in his professional collegiate career.
To my point, you know what I'm saying? And you look at guys like Dylan Gabriel, Bo Nix, these guys played 60 games as starters in college football, and they did it at top programs and had success. There's something to those reps. There's something to that continuity, being under center, being back there so many times. This kid he is what he is. He is a raw athlete who still needs to be coached up and get to a certain point. When you watch him play, you don't know if it's going to be boom or bust, and you can't be that at the quarterback position. Daniel Jones, who was drafted way too early, in my opinion, I think is still a good young player. I don't know that he was the number 6 player in the draft or should have been, but I watched him play in college a little bit. He looked all right, and then you looked at him with New York with the Giants. He made plays. He did okay. The team wasn't that great, to be honest with you. So to me, this is a situation where maybe he's with a better franchise, with a better team. Maybe now he has some years under his belt, so he has more confidence in what he's doing. But I still think Daniel Jones is too young to discard. Same with Anthony Richardson. But I think for now it makes sense why DJ is going to be the starter going into Week 1. He's absolutely, based on what you've seen in the preseason, he's the guy. He's Anthony Richardson's not ready. That, to me, that's the biggest story. Is that not that Daniel Jones is so great and amazing, even though I think he's up and coming, but Richardson is not ready. He's nothing about him looks ready. If you're a Colts fan, you don't look at him and say he's our guy. 70 plays a game. Nah, he's boom or bust. And between missing calls and not reading the defense, and he's going to get hurt back there, and he's going to hurt that team. DJ being number 1 for Indianapolis makes a lot of sense. And you never know. He has a running back. You got some receivers out there. You never know, but it makes sense to me.
Now you pose a point, Marvin. Obviously, as I sat there, I just seen it last night. He's only started 21 games in his collegiate and professional career. So you put that in there. Do you feel like where we are right now that there's a possibility Indianapolis pulls some trade off and sends him somewhere that he could learn, could potentially get some second team reps behind a guy that's done it, maybe winds up in a place like the Rams where they could have a good second option to what Matthew Stafford is going to be leaving in a year, maybe 2.
Yeah.
What do you think happens to Anthony moving forward?
Honestly, I think that Anthony and Daniel Jones are kind of in the same position in that we've seen the quarterback for the Commanders. You can argue Caleb, and you've seen other rookie quarterbacks in the last couple of years do okay. You know what I mean? And so that becomes the new standard. Pat Mahomes came into the league after year 1, he was on fire. After year 1, Lamar Jackson was on fire, right? These guys had MVPs and Super Bowls in their first 2-3 years. That becomes the standard. And in people's minds, if you're not that immediately, you're a problem. And that's not good, because the reality is every quarterback isn't at the same level of awareness and just understanding the game. And they don't get all the reps that some of these guys are getting in college. So ultimately, I think that Richardson is probably going to get out of there because Daniel's so young. And if they re-sign him, give him an extension, then what's left for Anthony? So I can see him going somewhere else, like you were saying, developing under another quarterback, just going to a whole new system where he can take these first 2 or 3 years as experience and confidence and lessons learned, go somewhere else and be the guy that we think he can be. So it wouldn't shock me if he was out of there and DJ was the guy. That's probably how it goes, especially if they start off the season well.
Okay, Ben, your thoughts. Daniel Jones, starting quarterback, Indianapolis Colts. We seen this coming months ago. Me and you were talking about it during the free agency period of time, and we kind of saw the writing on the wall. I can fairly say that we're probably not surprised by this. But now that it's actually here and it's actually happened, you're seeing what's going on with Anthony Richardson and everything like that. What are your thoughts here, brother?
I would love to say I'm surprised, but I kind of agree. I definitely agree with Marvin. What you are on tape is what you are, right? Now, upside is everything, but the problem is we all have it. Potential is everything. Problem is we all have it. Anthony Richardson will get an entire front office fired because that's how good of a player he can be. But day one install. You can't. He's making rookie mistakes, and he's not a rookie. He's doing things that, and Marvin knows this. If I'm a quarterback and I'm hearing Larry, I know everybody's stepping left. I know I got a free rusher coming from the right. I'm right-handed. So if I got everybody stepping left, why am I looking left? I should be looking right. They got the left protected. I get hit. I'm out. Then I come back the next game. Now I get sacked again, and this time it comes straight up the middle. I think the thing about Anthony Richardson is what somebody should have told him. 6'4", 245, 250 pounds, can jump out the gym, can run a 4.4. That's great, but in the NFL, that's normal. It's a bunch of guys that can do that. And it don't matter if you can do it if you can't show it. Lamar Jackson is athletic freak, and that's how he plays. Josh Allen, freak athlete, that's how he plays. Justin Herbert, statue. He stands in the pocket, throws. Right? Joe Burrow, stand in the pocket, throws. Anthony Richardson, he walks in the room. He's like, dude, that dude play quarterback? Yeah. But he got to learn how to play quarterback first. And do I think Indy was the right pick for him? No. Because anytime you get Anthony Richardson, you change up what you do. He's an RPO quarterback. He's a run-pass option guy. That's what he does. But the thing about Anthony is he'll make a great throw, then he'll make a bad read. He'll make a great play, then he'll make a bad read. I think what they're doing with Anthony is the same thing they did with Bryce Young. You got to show a big-time talent that's never got benched. You can be benched. And how he responds will have a lot to do with the rest of his career. Is his career over? Absolutely. There's a bunch of OCs that I can work with that. That guy, I would love to have Anthony Richardson. But now that Anthony, not saying he needs to be humble because he's a very, very humble young man. It's like, dude, you ain't now Quentin Nelson, all pro guard for them was recently on Zaire Franklin and those guys, his teammates' podcast. He said he looked in the camera and said, Anthony Richardson. I want Anthony Richardson. Now, let me tell you why that's problematic. My all-pro guard, one of the best guards in football, looked in the camera and said, I want Anthony. Now, he don't make the decision. What Quentin Nelson is saying, I don't know if the whole team agrees with the Daniel Jones. Because Daniel Jones is a better option. It's not that great. It's not that much better. Because Daniel Jones, I'm going to keep saying this, he decided what team he was going to go to in the offseason. He looked around. He said, the Saints, nah. Do I want to go out there to Seattle? Nah. I want to go to Indy. Why? I think I could beat Anthony Richardson out. That's based off what he's seen on tape. And like I said, Daniel Jones might stink up the joint. If he looked like he looked in New York, he won't be the starter alone. They're going to pull him. But yeah. I think for Anthony Richardson, this is the part of being a pro and saying, look, I'm not going to ruffle no feathers. I'm not going to make no headlines. I'm not going to say anything. I'm going to be a good teammate. I'm going to go. I'm going to practice. I'm going to make myself ready. Because the next time we see Anthony Richardson, that's the real evaluation. Because now he coming in not as a backup. If he comes in, hey, man, we trying to help salvage the season, but it's football. I knew that Anthony Richardson is extremely raw. Like, extremely. So I don't know. It just comes back to one of those things, Stephen and Marvin, that every player has to deal with two things in the NFL, and you can't run from it: getting hurt and playing bad. Every player does it.
Yeah.
Now, every player doesn't get the same rope when you play bad. Sometimes you might not get to recover from it. If you are Anthony Richardson, this dude is 23 years old. That's how young he is. He's been in the league 3 years, 23. So he got a lot of years ahead of him. He's gonna look back on this moment, and either this is gonna be what catapulted him to stardom, or he gonna feel bad for himself. And people like, dude, most guys get drafted when they're 23. He got drafted when he was 21.
Yeah.
So he'll be all right. When he was at Florida, they didn't really run no offense. He was a freak athlete. They kind of let him do his thing. And then he got drafted 4th overall. Think about this. And people don't want to talk about this. Bryce Young had to win a Heisman to be the number 1 overall pick and go to Alabama. C.J. Stroud had to go to Ohio State, make the college football playoff, be the 2nd overall pick. Anthony Richardson won 6 games in college, and he was the 4th pick. He won 6 games. And which means if he goes to the college football playoff, he might get drafted number 1 over Bryce. That's the scariest part. So I do agree, though, Marvin. You got to give him time. And the one thing that what hurts Anthony Richardson is C.J. Stroud. Same draft, 2 years, been to the playoffs twice. Bryce Young got benched, played well last year. Jaden Daniels probably had the greatest rookie season we've ever seen. Bo Nix made the playoff. They'll judge rookie quarterbacks off other rookie quarterbacks, never realizing who did that quarterback play for? Who was his offensive coordinator? Who was his quarterback coach? You have none of those things. Because right now, Caleb Williams, ain't nobody saying it enough. What's saving him now is a new head coach, Ben Johnson. That rope is not going to be long. Because when he comes out and says, I want to be the first 4,000-yard passer in Bears history, who cares? 4,000. Win. So, Anthony, you ain't the only one, sir. It's humbling. Everybody got something to say. You still making NFL checks. You still got a fully guaranteed rookie contract. Support Daniel Jones. But when it's his time, he's going to have to be ready. Because I think his teammates want him in there. But as an organization, man, we can't throw you out there, man. You making those type of rookie mistakes. Sometimes having to watch, I don't know how much it helps you, but it definitely ain't hurting you. So we'll see what happens when he finally gets a shot. But is his days an ending number? Maybe. But is his days in the NFL coming to an end? Oh, no. Because Ben Johnson, everybody wanted him as a head coach. He wanted Chicago. He said, I could work with Caleb. Liam Cohen, former offensive coordinator for Tampa, he could have went in the way. He said, I could work with Trevor Lawrence. So guys who other people say, I don't want him, the right guy, right system, Anthony Richardson, he will look. That dude, everybody ain't going to get a Joe Burrow that can do anything, or Josh Allen, or Lamar Jackson, or, Patrick Mahomes. Those guys are rare. Very rare. Outside of those 4, everybody it's system-based. Those guys, I think they'll make a system. So, Anthony, he's fine, man. He's, like I said, when I saw he was 23, I'm like, God, just 23? Man, I thought he was at least, so he's still younger than all the guys around him. He'll be fine. It comes with being a pro. Being a pro means growing through scrutiny in public. Because people they know how much money you make. They know how good you are, whether that's with Steve or real. And he'll be all right. If he ain't built for it, he ain't built for it. But if he is, man, all right, Daniel Jones, small bump in the road. If y'all think he better than me, cool. But do the Drew Bledsoe, Tom Brady. But if he give me the starting, if I get the starter again, I'm not giving it up. I'm going because Indy ain't had a good quarterback since Andrew Luck. So it ain't like they got a quarterback problem. They've had Hasselbeck, they've had Phillip Rivers, they had Matt Ryan. So they've gone through a lot of guys. They're looking for that franchise guy that's going to give them 10 years. Because you talk about a guy that set them back. It was when Luck retired in preseason, that set that organization back eons. Because they went 14 years with Peyton Manning. Then they got Andrew Luck. And Andrew was like, hey, man, I want to leave. I want to move on. He retired in preseason. I said, Jesus. I ain't never seen that. But Anthony will be all right. Anthony being benched is no different than Shador being 4th. Sometimes, man, it ain't going to come to you easy. It ain't. But we know if you build for this game, man, the NFL, man, it's the rarest of the rare. If you want to be one of the best in the world, man, you got to deal with the decisions that they make. We don't like most of them. Most of us don't make it. I don't care what the quarterback make. I still want to make my money. Most guys quarterbacks make too much because they quarterbacks. Some of them ain't even good. They quarterbacks. They're going to make the most money. Marvin will tell you, tight ends aren't fullbacks. Fullbacks are fullbacks. A tight end is not a fullback. Just because I can go in the backfield and block somebody, am I moving him? No. Am I creating holes? No. Pay a fullback. And fullbacks don't get paid enough. Why? What does Derrick Henry have? A fullback. What does Christian McCaffrey have? A fullback. Oh, so you telling me fullbacks have running backs have more yards and play longer? So, that's another conversation for another day. But yeah, man, he'll be all right. He'll be all right.
Yeah. You're talking about Cleveland, so I think we need to bring it up. Joe Flacco's named the starter quarterback. Not a surprise there, but there's a lot more going on in Cleveland right now, obviously. Dylan Gabriel making comments in the media. Everyone seems like they're a little irritated at the fact that Shador is still the fourth quarterback. According to Adam Schefter, they're keeping four quarterbacks on the roster. That's not an if or an ad. It's going to happen. Some people are a little upset at Dylan Gabriel's comments. Basically, that it's his job to compete, not sit there and play media darling and do stuff like that. First off, start with Marvin. Joe Flacco to start, obviously not a surprise there. But are you surprised where Shador was after what looked like he had a pretty good first start to the preseason? Dylan Gabriel threw a pick six against the Eagles last week in their preseason game, had his moments as well. Do you feel the depth chart is where it should be, or is it's preseason? It doesn't really matter?
Well, keep in mind, in preseason, you're not doing much to disrupt the quarterback. So when you see these young kids coming out here looking good, it's good they look good because they can look bad, right? But these defenses aren't scheming to really shut them down like that. I think it makes a lot of sense that Flacco is the starter. I think when you put a rookie in there, if it doesn't go well and you have to pull him, I think that kills his confidence. I think the smart move is to go with the veteran. In this sense, Joe Flacco, Super Bowl MVP. Go with this guy, and if they don't win games, then you have to determine what you're going to do with the rookie quarterback situation. And for Cleveland, they got two. And they got two guys that looked pretty good, to be honest with you, in their preseason debuts. But this league is about men leading other men. And I think going into that season, that veteran Joe Flacco is the guy. The wheels fall off, then you got two young bucks to look back at if they keep them both. Because it wouldn't shock me if one of those guys were moved, but they're going to have to pick which one they think is their franchise. And the unfortunate thing is, the world is screaming Shador, but Dylan Gabriel looked good in his first game. They say he looks good in practice. He was the guy who was drafted a couple rounds higher, so you would think it would be him. But I don't know. I think Cleveland has a good problem, to be honest with you. If these guys are as good as they say, and that's what's happening in camp. But yeah, it would make sense with the uncertainty, with the youth, that you go with the Super Bowl MVP veteran quarterback to start this thing off. Give your team the best chance to win out the gate. Because in week one, if you're starting a rookie quarterback, these guys are going to see tempo that you can't simulate in practice. In practice you can go hard, you can go fast, but there's nothing like that game day anxiety. There's nothing like going against that first team defensive end who's playing for that contract, who's been in the league for 4 or 5 years. It's a different level of heat, different speed, different tempo, different all that. It is, I think, for a young guy, it could be tough. You got a Super Bowl MVP in your back in your locker room. You play that guy, and you go from there.
And your thoughts here? What's going on here in Cleveland? Obviously, me and you called this again. As soon as they made the signing, we knew that Joe Flacco was going to be the starting quarterback of Cleveland at the start of the season. Are you surprised Shador's still number 4 and did Dylan Dylan Gabriel's comments, irritate you, upset you, surprise you, anything of that nature?
I'm not surprised that Joe Flacco was a starter. Joe Flacco is there for stability. He's not there for long term. Hey, man, and we know this. Listen, we're not the youngest guys anymore. We have reached the Unk stage. Youngest gonna call us Unk, right? We used to call other people Unk. Well, I don't know if Marvin has done it. I yelled at my kids the other day, man, turn that music down. I used to didn't do that. It used to be as loud as it won't, right? Because I'm getting more, not stable, but I'm very boring as I get older. The things I want, I want. I don't deviate a lot, right? Does Joe Flacco look exciting to you? No. He looks like I'm going to do what the offense needs me to do, and I'm going to show Dylan and Shedeur just play quarterback first. Before you could do the dynamic, you got to do the mundane. You got to do the normal. Do those things. Then you can elevate. If Dylan Gabriel thinks that he thinks that, I'm talking about reporters. When the last time we called reporters entertaining? We don't. A reporter isn't entertaining. No, Dylan Gabriel went to Oregon. Who was his coach? Dan Lanning. Dan Lanning had a lot to say before they played Colorado. Who was the quarterback over there? Oh, that was Shedeur. And sometimes that stuff be in your head. Then when they ask you a question, all you got to do is say, I'm here to compete, period. I'm here to compete, period. Because this is how you know you messed up when I got to retract what I said. Coaches do that, not players. Coaches say something, mess up, go retract it. What do you mean? You got entertainers and you got competitors. I go out there and compete. So who's the entertainer? Reporters? Wrong. I don't know an entertainer. Stephen A., he's pretty entertaining, but he yells. He's on TV all the time. You don't even know the reporters. Dylan, what reporter you know? None of them. And they putting cameras in front of you. Dylan realized real quick, what you say has consequences, youngin'. Be careful what you say because you don't want to create a rift. Whether it's perceived or real, you don't want to be that. Now, when it comes to Shedeur is realizing real quick, there ain't a fifth rounder in the history of football that got to start week one. Not even Tom Brady. That doesn't happen. The only rookie I remember that got drafted fourth round that got to start was Dak. He's the reason why Tony Romo's in the booth. But he was phenomenal now. But Tony Romo was older and kind of phasing out anyway. I think sometimes we get caught up in this hype train. The NFL ain't going to switch up for nobody. They love Shedeur. They'll take the second in jersey sales. And they'll take the hype. Hype don't win games. Football players win games. And Joe Flacco got to show them young boys, look, y'all are the future. You got to wait. You don't believe me? Phillip Rivers got drafted 4th overall in 2004. Who was the starting quarterback out there when he got to the Chargers? That was Drew Brees. A second round. He had to wait. Aaron Rodgers got drafted, 31st overall. Brett Favre was already there. What he had to do? He had to wait. These are first rounders I'm talking about. Shedeur Sanders is good for business. He learned that from his daddy. Now, and he's a good football player, right? But Shedeur is realizing real quick, hype sell tickets. They don't win games, young. Just keep your head down. They're keeping 4 quarterbacks. That does not happen. 4? You might keep 3. And the third guy going to be your practice squad guy. 4 quarterbacks means I think Kenny Pickett is going to get traded. I think he's going to be the odd man out. I don't even know why Deshaun Watson keeps making videos. You're not going to play for Cleveland anymore, Deshaun. Congratulations on getting married, by the way. I think the thing about Dylan and Shedeur is RG3, Kirk Cousins 2.0, except you got 3rd round and 5th round instead of 1st round and 4th round. If I got 2, that means I'm not really settled on any one of them. But I'd rather have the future in the building. I'd rather have 2 guys that's going to be my future. And the fact that both of them got to wait and watch, we're going to see how they really handle it. Because it would be different if Dylan was starting. They cut Kenny Pickett and they made Joe Flacco number 2 and Shedeur number 3. No, we're going to say 2 veterans, number 1, number 2, and our 2 rookies, number 3 and number 4. And, I agree with Jason. I agree with something Jason Kelsey said. Cleveland, this is new to Cleveland. They've never really had a quarterback situation ever. This is their first time ever really going through a quarterback situation. No, they've been dealing with quarterback issues before we even knew what football was. It's been a long time since Cleveland had a good quarterback.
Bernie Kosar. The last time they had a good quarterback was Bernie Kosar.
Listen, I am rooting for both Dylan and Shedeur. But what I would tell Dylan Gabriel is this. Private conversations better not become public comments. Don't do that. What you say in private is supposed to stay there. When they put a camera in your face, show your professionalism. Show your poise. You played for UCF. You played for Oklahoma, right? You played for Oregon. You played for a lot of schools, right? Make sure, and that's why he's so poised as he is. Remember you talked about earlier, Marvin, that's a lot of stars in college. Your teammates are not your enemies, even if you're competing against them. They ain't your enemies, man. We all out here trying to play. And Marvin can speak to this like I can. Your teammates will become your enemies if you start looking at them that way. Don't let that animosity creep in your mind, man. That man competing just like you. He want the best for his family just like you. And sometimes the best player don't win. Who's the best fit for the team? Best fit is better than best player. I got to be a good fit for what they want. And right now, Joe Flacco is a good fit. You know how I know? Because he was a better fit last year in Indy than Anthony Richardson. He was a better fit last year. Because he says, I'm a rhythm guy. I'm going to throw it to the guy that's open. I'm not finna improvise, and I sure ain't finna scramble. Scramble and do what? You know, so I think that Tom Brady has 1,000 career rushing yards his entire career. His whole career. Because he don't run. And we know he can't catch, you know, when they try to throw it to him. You know,
I didn't know I didn't think he had that many yards.
I'm gonna go and check it. I think he got like 1,000 on the dot. But what I like about the NFL is this: when all the smoke clears, they gonna do what's best for the league, not just Cleveland. Because if I start letting fifth round to start, them other GMs gonna say, "What are y'all doing?" I'm telling you, as much as we think the NFL is changing outside of social media and more eyes, no, they're gonna do it the right way. They're gonna make them quarterbacks need to be ready. And I'm not a fan just because you got drafted a high quarterback, they throw you in there. That don't mean you're ready. Sometimes you will ruin me by the time I'm ready to play because I done lost so much. Cam Ward gonna start, he gonna lose. Trevor Lawrence never lost in his life till he got to the NFL. Still ain't learned how to win in the NFL. You got to go through the growing pains. But Dylan, please don't say that kind of stuff anymore, man. Because you know how it is, Marvin. If I think you said it about me, I'm gonna ask you about it. I'm not gonna ask you about it in public. I'm gonna say you compete, huh? Man, I wasn't talking to you. Well, who were you talking to? I was talking to reporters. Which one? You don't even know who the reporter who's interviewing you, and they tell you who they are when they'll say, I can say Ben Troupe, WSAV News. You don't remember me. I'm not entertaining. I ask questions. If you know what I'm saying, don't do that. And I know that Dylan put his foot in his mouth. But what Dylan don't realize is now they're gonna try to get stuff out of him. Now they're gonna ask him stuff to see if they can get him to say something. Now, you know, he didn't go to the school of Deion Sanders, you know, like Shedeur did. Shedeur knows how to answer questions, say what he wants to say, but not throw nobody under the bus. That's all you're supposed to do. You ask me a question, I'm not going to refer to my teammates or my coaches. I'm a competitor, as if to say everybody on my team ain't. That's like somebody saying, man, I want to win. All of us do. What you mean? All of us want to win. I don't think they want to win like I want to win. I love you, Kobe. But just because I'm not the Mamba don't mean I don't want to win. Just because my mentality and my methodology ain't the same. I think for Dylan, if Dylan was as good as he was, why would he play for so many teams in college? Because he's a quarterback and they want him. Shedeur only went where his daddy went. When the last time Marvin and Steven, you watched Jackson State? Oh, that's right. You don't watch him no more. Because what made you watch him is gone.
Yeah.
So all I'm saying is Shedeur did it for two schools. That history was kind of down here. Dylan went to schools that already had history, like Oregon and Oklahoma, right? Started UCF. What Dylan just showed Shedeur Sanders is how much pressure he put on people.
Yeah.
He put that much pressure. And all I'm doing is playing, man. And my brother follow me around with a camera sometimes. You know what I'm saying? But I've been doing that for like 4 or 5 years. But I think Shedeur is gonna get more eyes on Cleveland because everybody want to see is he gonna play. He's not gonna play over Dylan unless he get hurt. And you know who's the odd man out? Kenny Pickett, another first-round pick, former first-round pick. But I think we already know what Kenny Pickett is, you know. So, but I like it. I'm just happy that Cleveland let them youngins get all that playing time and all that fanfare. Third string, fourth string. Y'all gonna be third and fourth. And it's nothing more than a conversation. And I guarantee you, Stefanski told Dylan, Dylan just throw passes. Yeah, don't throw shots. What? Don't throw shots. I ain't saying nothing. Listen, whether perceived or not, don't do that. Just don't.
What you seeing and what you realize is that these guys, these players, they feel the pressure. They hear the noise. They hear the noise. He hears the noise. Dylan knows that Cleveland is becoming a Shador town. He feels that. His people telling him that. He sees it on TV. He sees it in the media. He sees it on shows like this. He's feeling that pressure without question. And you're seeing him leak a little bit. That's really what's going on here. You're seeing that pressure, that anxiety come out. In that entertainment comment that he made. When people come at you, it's deliberate. There's no coincidences. There's nothing to be misunderstood. That he knew what he was doing. That was him being emotional and it getting caught on camera. That's the truth.
Mm-hmm. This ain't Oregon. And listen, a soundbite on Saturday with all these college football games.
Yeah,
it'll go viral. It'll go away.
Yeah.
When you ask a question and the follow up is, what you mean by that? What you mean by that, Dylan? Yeah. Now you done said something. Hey, man.
Yeah.
Just be careful. That's all I'm saying. Just be careful.
What you said, the next thing you hear is no. Breaking news. Breaking news. That's how it went down. That's exactly how it went.
Or Marvin, you walk around Cleveland, you go in a restaurant, they say, "What's up, Dylan? I'm a competitor, not an entertainer, right?"
Yeah, that's what the schools do. They do that. They do that. Fans do that. Just playing with you, but not realizing that you're fragile, as we saw.
Now, gonna switch gears back to college football real fast. I know this was gonna get right into Marvin's heart right here. Who is college football's Hall of Fame U? Is it those USC Trojans? Is it the Miami Hurricanes? Is it Pitt? Is it Notre Dame? Who is it? I know where I'm gonna go right to Marvin with this one, right? Yeah, I gotta go right to Marvin with it. So
numbers don't lie. People get emotional. But numbers don't lie. There's a school that has the most NFL Hall of Famers in its program. That same school has the most NFL draft picks in NFL history. That same school has the most number one overall draft picks in history. That same school has the most Heisman in NCAA history. That school is that school right here, University of Southern California. I'm about to say South Central. As we used to say, but it's USC. I think you have other schools that may want to, throw in their 2 cents. But again, 14 players from USC are in the NFL Hall of Fame. That's significant. We've had over 500 and something 550 or 30 draft picks. We've had 6 or 7 overall number 1 picks. When you talk about, elite players, when you talk about which school is putting out the most elite players in college and in the NFL, you have to look at the metrics that I just gave you. And when you're number 1 here, number 1 in this category, number 1 with this metric, it makes sense that you could be looked at as Hall of Fame U. USC since the Howard Jones days, going into the John McKay days and John Robinson, Pete Carroll. We've recruited at a high level locally. For decades, we recruited on the national level. For decades, we get the cream of the crop, and you see those players come into the program. You see them develop. You see them get drafted. You see them go on to Pro Bowls and Super Bowls and in the Hall of Fame. And we have numbers like no other school. Again, I think some of those schools on that list, they have something to say, but at the end of the day, the numbers don't lie. And when you put USC's numbers up in regards to elite players who have gone on, there's really there's nobody even close to us.
Now, Ben, obviously, Marvin's got the upper hand on this one. Is there anyone you're even going to debate with, or are you going to agree with Marvin here?
Oh, Marvin's right. The only team that even comes close. I think Notre Dame got the same amount of Hall of Famers as SC, but I think I think what Marvin just did was he's saying, yeah, we 14, but then he started going into the number 1 overall. He started going into the Heisman Trophy winners. He started going into, and I think the thing about SC is this. Like Marvin said, you don't got to like it. What the number say? Yeah, but because what other schools are gonna do, they're gonna do this recency thing. Oh, well, we're starting to, yeah, but you still got that's a big hill to climb. SC knows, and I think the thing about Notre Dame has that brand equity. You know, Notre Dame, Fighting Irish, you know, a Rudy and all this stuff. I get it, but SC goes, just because we haven't been there recent, the history is so long. It'll take certain schools, man, eons to catch them, right? So I agree. It's SC. The only team, because you got, Ohio State got 10, Michigan got 11, Pitt got 10. Pitt got 10, right? I think the thing about Hall of Famers and SC, it's normal. Like certain schools, here's the crazy part. In the great state of South Carolina, Clemson and USC, the Gamecocks, they have a whopping 2 Hall of Famers. And one of them just got there. Sterling Sharp is the only Gamecock that's a Hall of Famer, right? He just got inducted in 2025. The only Clemson Tiger in the Hall of Fame is Brian Dawkins. That's it. That's the list. So when we get to talking about being a big-time school, a lot goes into it. Championships, tradition, Hall of Fame, first-round picks, number 1 overall picks, Heisman. The thing about SC, they're going to hit everything. Most schools going to hit some of them. When you start going Hall of Fame, we have to get our food to go. Yeah, let me get. Can I get some of this? Okay. Well, let me get out of here, fellas. So it's a Notre Dame and SC can be in the same room together. They can go back and forth. But if you got Marvin in there with, Desmond Howard or whomever went to Notre Dame, Desmond Howard went to Michigan. I'm sorry. You got. You talk about another running back, Jerome Bettis. They finna go at it.
What about our boy Ricky? You forgot about our boy Ricky.
Of course, Ricky Waters. Oh, running Ricky Waters. But here's the thing, though. Notre Dame need backups. Marvin can say, I got us. Y'all go ahead. I got us. Because no matter what they say, Marvin got something to say back. Like, yeah, we've been doing that. You want to talk Heisman's? You don't want to do that. No. You want to talk number 1 overall picks? You don't want to do that. You want to talk legacy? You don't want to do that. Most of Notre Dame's legacy is in VHS times. It ain't now. It is not now. It's not. Listen, Notre Dame has become the team that loses to the team in the Natty. That has been their recent. Their best coach is at LSU right now. So as of recent. So I listen. SC, no, I ain't got no quarrels with them. You know, Miami got some. But here's the thing that no one talks about. HBCUs, Jackson State, Grambling State, Morgan State, South Carolina State. They got more Hall of Famers than Florida does, right? They got more Hall of Famers than all these, Tennessee and all these big schools. So don't ever look past these HBCUs. They put them out, and they ain't got. So yeah, it's SC though, man. This ain't even. I'm
gonna return one more question back to Marvin. Who's your favorite Hall of Famer that's come out of your school there?
My favorite Hall of Famer, probably Juice.
I'm about to say that. That's what I was going to
say. Juice, we're talking about football only. Juice, when you look at his career at USC, which was only 2 years, he came out of JUCO, and then you look at what he did in the NFL with the Buffalo Bills, you're talking about arguably one of the greatest running backs of all time when you combine college and NFL career. I mean, he's probably in the top 3 with Jim Brown, Barry Sanders. You can argue Thurman Thomas maybe, but that's my thought. But he's probably my first thought was Baselli, because when I was in high school, I played a little tight end, not like Ben does or Ben did, but I played a little bit of tight end. And in my mind, I was Tony Baselli. Again, being the son of an offensive lineman, I took tremendous pride in blocking. So Baselli being inducted was a big deal to me. But Juice is the guy without question for me.
I you know what? My favorite SC Hall of Famer is probably Lynn Swann, because Lynn Swann was so good at football, man. And then he went into the booth You know, it's like, and I got a chance to get interviewed by him my senior year playing Miami. That's back when ABC Sports had the big game. That's ESPN is coming up, and I'm staring at Lynn Swann. He's staring at me, and I ain't even doing my warm up. I'm tapping people, and he walk up to me, and I'm expecting Lynn Swann to be, I don't know, 6'2", 6'3". Lynn Swann, a little guy, man, like little dude, right? Respectfully though, not a big, tall receiver.
He ain't TL.
But what I'm saying is, I said, man, you Lynn Swann, man. To this day, I can't remember what he said to me. I just remember saying, dude, you Lynn Swann, right? And he said, I am. He said, yeah, I'm Lynn Swann. I said, man, you really took ballet? He said, still do. I said, dude, you him. So that's what I'm saying. I'm a fan of the game of football first. Forget the school I went to. Football royalty is SC. You don't got to like it. Sorry, UCLA, man. Sorry, UCLA. It's just UCLA hate it. UCLA is like the Mets in New York. Good team now. Good team. But when you start talking legacy, they got to close that door, man. What Maurice Jones-Drew? What Mercedes Lewis? I mean, I don't know. I couldn't tell you the best UCLA. What are they? Are they Bruins?
Probably Jonathan Ogden.
Oh yeah.
So I'm gonna finish this one up. You know, I totally agree. You know, I kind of formulated this around Marvin since I knew Marvin was going to be here today. He gets to talk a little USC, but my favorite Hall of Famer is Junior Seau, man. You know, I've loved watching him. You know, probably if you paint me in a corner and said a non-Philadelphia Eagle you wish would have won a Super Bowl, it would have Junior Seau would probably been the first person I put on my list. And you know, especially what we all know what happened post career with Junior and stuff like that. So Junior Seau is always going to be my guy. Love watching him play. And San Diego was blessed because they wound up getting his heir apparent replacement from the University of Maryland, Mr. Sean Merriman. So I mean, look, it's a fun thing kind of having these little topics to talk about. But I want to get into another serious one. We talk about the business that the NFL is, and it's starting to get a little ridiculous, in my opinion. The fact that we have to, if you're a fan and you're not from your hometown or whatever, in order to keep up with football, you're up to there's 10 different apps or services you're going to have to get to follow the NFL season. It's become like, listen, I get it, I do, but we're at the point now. I mean, when a lot of us were first getting introduced to football and stuff like that, everything was just on basic TV. It was either in my day it was either 3, 6 or 29. ABC, NBC, and Fox. That was it. Those are the only things you really had to do. If you want to watch some stats or some games from other teams, you turn on SportsCenter and have Chris Berman break it all down for you, right? That's all you really had to do to keep up with it. Now, in my opinion, it's a little bit ridiculous, and even more so. I'm going to pull this one up. For a family to go to a game anymore, the food pricing is ridiculous. This is from Lincoln Financial Field. It's almost $20 to have a beer. It's almost $20 to have a order of fries. When is it too much? When are the everyday people going to say I can't do this anymore? I love to watch this game. I love to support the players, but if you bring a family of 3 to an event, you go to the food vendor there, you're almost spending $100 just on food, let alone it's probably costing you a couple $100 to go to the game itself. Who's got almost $1,000 to throw away to go to an NFL game these days? I love the brand. I love everything that football is, but has greed taken over? What is this sport? Well, I'm going to start with Marvin on this one too.
Has greed taken over?
Yeah.
Greed has never gone anywhere. It's been there from the very beginning. The NFL has the same objective as McDonald's or Mercedes-Benz or a kid's lemonade stand. They're here to make money, period and point blank. This isn't about feelings. If they can give you, and they want to give you a good experience, obviously, to keep you coming back and keep you into it, but they're here to make money any way they can. And that's really the bottom line. When I see you post these prices, these food prices up in Philly, it's heartbreaking because I'll tell you like this. I'm not a Falcons fan, but I've been to a few Falcons games being here in the ATL, and they've done a very good job of keeping those prices down in that stadium. And that stadium, I mean, the food honestly is inexpensive. That's how and good. That's how I would label it: inexpensive and good, and which is a complete contradiction to any other stadium out there. But
it's $10 for a bottle of water at Lincoln Financial Field.
That's crazy. It's like $2 in Atlanta, literally. I kid you not. We've gone to a few games, But no, man. At the end of the day, this league is trying to maximize what they can. They're trying to push this league globally. These digital platforms and this new world we live in with technology and online, they're taking advantage of. They're on top of that, been ahead of it for years, and they want to maximize their investment. These owners are here to make money. They're not here for your feelings. In the NFL, they have shared revenue. So even the teams who don't win are making money. That's what it's about. And as long as people are willing to fill those stadiums and willing to download those apps, pay those app subscription fees, and buy the merch, they're gonna keep pushing, keep pushing out things for us to buy. We're gonna keep doing it because we love the game. And with inflation and everything else, I mean, you're just gonna see these numbers go up. But no, greed has always been a part of it. Greed is good. All right. Greed is good. It's the American way. It's what we know. Everything about our society says get money, make money. And trust me, that motto, lives in the owner's minds. It lives in Goodell's minds. They're trying to increase revenue. I think they're looking at 20 billion this year coming up, or 25 billion, something like that. That's crazy. That's crazy numbers. The NFL does more money than the top 5 soccer leagues in the world, which is crazy. You think about how big soccer is, right? You take the 5 biggest soccer leagues from Latin America to Europe, and you add them up. NFL is still doing more money than them in a season. So this is the business. They're in the business of printing paper, green paper. They're great at it. You should follow their lead.
Ben.
Yeah, I mean, the hardest thing to do on Sunday is to figure out what platform you're going to be on to watch your favorite game. The hardest thing we used to have to deal with was blackouts. They didn't have it in your area. You're like, oh, this is why bars were invented, and this is why your rich friend was invented. Go to his crib. Hey, man, what you doing on Sunday? Go in there. He got 10 screens up. Hey, man, you got a new man cave, right? Yeah, man, this is nice. Oh, what game you watch? Oh, man, I want to see the Falcons. I want to see the Titans. Or, I want to see. And next thing, but I do agree with Marvin, though. Mercedes-Benz doesn't get enough credit for one beautiful stadium, not a bad seat in the house. And the food, just because you paying good prices, they're giving you a lot of food. They're not shortchanging you. Arthur Blank understands this. Dude, if you want us to support you, charge less for the parking, less for the food. Done. And he did it. And how the food works at Mercedes-Benz is this. You're sitting there watching and somebody walk by, you don't know if it's nachos or a corn dog. It's that little container is in, it's heavy. I'm going to go jump in that line and get me some of that. And the good part about it is the lines ain't ridiculous. I agree with Marvin with this, man. We live in a capitalistic society. These owners are saying, hey, man, how much money did we make on Sunday? Yes, won the game, lose the game. I get it. How much money did we make? Oh, we made this. Oh, we made that. And the only way you make more money is to make it exclusive. Everybody came, and nowadays, I mean, what, Hulu, what, Paramount, what, Disney Plus, do Netflix do games yet?
I think they're about to.
I mean, because and that's before ESPN came in and monopolized it. They finna really get back to getting all the games. But yeah, it's once again, I'm not surprised. I am just happy that I live, in the ATL and the stadium and the team that I root for. They ain't gonna be that good, but the experience, oh man, it is now leaving the stadium is a little different. That's a little crazy then. But now it's what we do. I mean, what's crazy? If you're an avid beer drinker, right? it's not so much because you're gonna get them. You like it's really $17, man. Give me 2 of those. Let me get because you're gonna get them. And then, but here's the thing. Remember the days people would buy beer and they don't care how they walk back to their section. They walking so slow now. Whoa. This beer cost, no, this $34, bro. Let's move. Let's. You know what I'm saying? So, hey, but you know what? It just shows how much we love football. To where, because any other sport, they play hockey on the golf channel. You know, you can watch hockey over there. The NFL knows whatever we give y'all, you're gonna complain, and if you love it, you're gonna subscribe. You're gonna get it. And our wives don't understand it now. They like, dude, really? Another subscription? No, man, the Raiders are playing. They over here, Peacock.
Ben, Ben hit that one on the head right there. We will pay regardless. You're still right, dude.
Oh yeah.
And then we'll deal with the consequences of what it is after the fact.
Yeah. We look at the cable bill and get shocked. What? Sweetie,
I mean, if you really think about it, like for the most part, I only have cable TV anymore, so I can watch football. Other than that, tell me a reason people have cable TV anymore.
They don't. You don't even know who your local meteorologist is anymore. You can literally get. Social media has made it so that you can get your local news on social media. You're like, oh man, there's a crash off of 75. That's crazy. You can see it, but I think for us though, me and Marvin are the worst because we're former players. And you would think, no, man, we don't get caught up in the fandom. We right there. And thank God we ain't Buffalo fans. We'd be out there jumping on tables. Because at the end of the day, sometimes, I don't know if you do this, Marvin, we're like, dang, man, this is what people used to pay to come see us do. Like, when you were in it, we don't really get it. Sometimes you got to go and say, this is nuts. This is crazy. People, now listen, get all your fights out in the preseason now. Don't do the fighting. Now, Philadelphia fans, I ain't talking to y'all. Y'all just different. Y'all gonna fight. But listen, grown men, if you're gonna fight, please win the fight. Because it's gonna go viral. It's gonna go viral, and you're not gonna be able to lie. Because you know how it is, Marvin. Marvin got an NFL PA event. You up in there to my and somebody go, is that you? That ain't how that went, bro. He gave you a 3-piece with some extra sides. I'm talking. Listen, I'm not talking to the 20-somethings. Listen to the 30-somethings, 40-somethings, 50-somethings. We don't fight. We argue real good. It's what we would have done. Oh yeah, you better be lucky my wife came over here, bro. Like, we don't. And you get in the car and she say, Marvin, what's wrong with you, baby? I'm just telling you, I was gonna have to show him. No, man, just cut that little stuff out. Because even if you win the fight, you're gonna tear your ACL. I'm just telling you, lower extremities in your body gonna hurt. Just from experience, just leave it alone. Leave it alone.
All right, now let's go on to this next one. I know we've been hard on Cam Newton here for some of his bad takes and stuff like that, but we had a sincere moment in comments through him about some things. He made I think it's like rounded up, it's like $134 million in his career, right? And I guess he's getting to that point where he's understanding where he is, his post career and stuff like that. It's just realizing, like, hey, I can't care for my 8 kids the way I used to. I can't dote on them the way I used to. They used to think of me as the Superman, and now they're coming to find out I'm just a regular man like everybody else. Is this something like all? Well, I can't say all, because just most former athletes who had some notoriety, did make some money while they were in the league, when they have to transition to being the everyday citizen. Is this what a lot of what you guys feel? A lot of these guys have trouble getting a grasp on is what their new role in life is after their career's over. Marvin,
I think with Cam, I think what he's saying is when he first got into the league and he's getting those checks and he's an active player making active NFL player money. Mm-hmm. He was a little bit more liberal how he was living. You know what I'm saying? And when you're young like that, you think that money's coming forever. Especially if you don't have somebody in your ear, or if you don't come from a certain background of financial education, you think that money's coming forever. You know what I'm saying? I listen, I was an undrafted free agent making league minimum. I thought I was rich. You know what I'm saying? Like straight up, you couldn't tell me nothing. You know, I had in 1999, I walked around with $300 in my pocket. Yeah, about $300 in my pocket every night. I thought I was doing something. You know what I'm saying? But and he's just saying it on a higher level that he blew money. He was living wild. He was spoiling his kids with those checks coming in. Don't forget, Cam was one of the first quarterbacks to sign for $100 million. I think he was one of the first guys to get that number. I think it was a team-friendly deal, but it was still $100 million. But you know, he has good problems, so I don't feel bad for him. Cam got good problems. I've heard Cam recently say on his own show that he's not making what he made, but he still got bread and he's good to go. So everybody who was connected to him, who he was taking care of, they all took a hit. You know what I mean? Because when he stopped playing, he stopped getting them game checks, and now he's having to live off his reserves and his investments. You look at it differently, especially a few years down the line as you wise up and grow older. But to be young and reckless with money, that's not an athlete thing. That's a young person thing. That's an American culture thing. They do that all over the world. I know all kind of men in business who've made serious money, and they'll tell you their first few years in Wall Street or after law school, whatever it may be, they was blowing money on things that we don't have to talk about, and they was doing it in abundance. You know what I'm saying? So Cam is no different from that, and I think that's what he's saying, and he's just being honest about the fact that when he was younger, he was a little more reckless. And now, it probably does hit his ego a little bit when the people who used to depend on him can't get from him what they once did. You know what I mean? He liked being that supplier, being that guy. I get all that. That's part of being young. You know what I mean? And now he has a whole new perspective to speak on that. So, that's my take on that.
Mr. Ben Troupe?
I agree. Getting older. Humility and wisdom, hopefully comes with it. And I think for Cam, he realized the Superman mantra was more than just on the field. I was Superman for my children and my village when I was off the field, and those checks stopped instantly. Like most people are not going to get to the $134 million. You can only imagine how much money he was spending on all his children and to maintain his lifestyle. Because a lot of times, you're trying to make your life look like the lives of those you support as well. Oh, I live here. I want y'all to live there. I do this. But what you realize real quick, when the checks stop coming in, dude, that's a lot of tuition when you're talking about private school. That's a lot of gated community and HOAs. That's a lot. And what people don't get, people don't have $100,000 a month expenses. But if you make a certain amount of money, it takes you not making the money to make you realize I was spending what? I think that's what it really is too. Yes, Cam has, he has 4th and 1, he has Funky Fridays, he's still making money, but Cam was used to getting the biggest check on the team consistently. And I like the fact that he's showing vulnerability, man. I like it. I think the human side of Cam is what he's willing to give the world, because what Cam is really saying, let me speak to my family through the world, because they ain't getting it. Because it's not him shutting it off. It's him letting his family know, I don't got it to give anymore. I don't got that. And it's hard because what people don't get is when you make it, your whole family think they make it, depending on how close you are with your family. They think, well, Marvin got $300 that walk around. I should have $300 walk around. And you get to a point that you say, hey, these people are going to make it had you never made it. They were still going to make it in life. But because Marvin made it, Ben made it, Cam made it, what we start doing is we start doing things we can't maintain for a lifetime. Because they ain't going to tell you to stop. They're not going to say, hey, man, stop doing that. They're going to say, thank you. Give me more. Expectation will become entitlement real quick if you don't shut it off. So I appreciate Cam's sentiments, because Cam knows people still think I got it because I'm still on TV. They still think, because I still wear the, hey Cam, if you listen, I'll take some of them hats, baby. I love Masika. I'm not buying none though. I don't buy $1,500 hats. And let me tell you something that I learned real quick in the NFL. The only reason why you keep any money is because you got financial advisors. They're the ones telling you, hey, you know why rich people stay rich? Because they budget and they save. What? Yeah, like, you know why you don't want to see a wealthy person's car? Because it's not flashy, right? It's not, because they don't make something I can't buy. I think when you're not used to having and you have it, you think you got to show it, and you don't. That's the hardest thing. If you can kill the love of materialism and the love to show what you got, well, you know how much money you'll save. You know how many looks I used to get when the Titans and up back when Kmart was a store. It ain't even a store no more. It was down the road from my house. They looking at me in the line like, "What are you doing in the line? Are you trying to get the special bin?" Yeah, that's 2 for $10. What you mean? But and as former athletes, we got to tell the current athletes, you don't got to prove anything. A lot of that stuff, man, is trying to look like something. Like, did it really matter what car I drove? No, but I think I got to drive the $100,000 one. Does it really matter where I live? No, I think I got to live in a gated community. No, you can live anywhere. And for Cam, I'm the number 1 overall pick. I can't just live anywhere with Cam. You're not going to live in no offense, you're not going to live in a trailer. Ain't nothing wrong with a trailer. But I think for Cam, he was pushing out so much money, and it just goes flat. When you retire from the NFL or you get your last, hey, coach, man, I want to retire, they're cutting the checks off immediately. Them things are, hey, man, listen, they're going to talk to you, and before you walk out, they're talking to the finance person. He's gone. No. Cut that off. So for Cam, I can only imagine going from making $1 million, $2 million, $10 million a game to, I don't know. Listen, I don't know how much he make on Funky Fridays and 4th and 1. He ain't making that. He ain't doing that. Yep. So I think for him, he's speaking to those who are in his circle. So he's saying, Daddy loves you and Daddy gonna take care of you. But we're not taking family trips that we can't go in a van. We ain't taking ones that we got to fly. That's 8 plane tickets. You see what I'm saying? So I think that's what he's saying. And I'm proud of him for doing that, because you still Cam. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, do I believe, I'm going to keep saying this, do I believe LeBron James drove a Kia? No. Was he on the Kia commercial? Yes. Do I think Shaq drove an Oldsmobile? No. Was he on the commercial? Yes. But when you really think about it, Shaq is Shaq no matter what he drives. Cam is Cam no matter what he does. I think he's realizing that now, because he's telling his children's mothers, the mother of his children, and he's like, so yeah, we need to talk. We need to talk, because it costs how much for him to go to school? $30,000 a semester. He getting C's public school. And I'm not in Cam's business. As a man that has 7 children myself, between me and my wife, most of them are grown, thank God. I'm telling you, Cam is gonna do more for people that can see him by being regular. Now, I'm not talking about how he dresses. Cam dressed like Captain Crunch. That's fine. That's what we want to do. It's fine. Captain Crunch. But I love Cam. Cam know I love him. But what I'm saying is, and Marvin can speak to this, Marvin Powell is Marvin Powell no matter what. It takes an athlete a long time to realize it ain't what you do, it ain't what you say, it's you being you when you do it and say it. I need Marvin Powell III, because I don't know what it's like to have a father that's Hall of Fame, like a legacy type player. But at a certain point, you're like, yeah, that's my dad, but I'm still me. I didn't name myself; he named me. I think for Cam, he got to realize, dude. To be honest with you, Cam, and I mean this, no one cares like that. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, nobody cares. You got to stop caring so much, because Cam is still famous without football. Most guys are only famous because of football. Most guys, you wouldn't know them if they had their name on their back. Cam Newton could be in anywhere in the country. That's Cam Newton. Like, you know him when you see him, right? Man, Cam, you good. You good. And Cam, you want to come on the fan in the end because I said something about you dressing like Captain Crunch? Come on. You can air me out on here. But no, man, I'm telling that to a Marvin Powell III. You are who you are, sir. You just played football. Because some of us, this identity thing is crazy. People think that when Terrell Owens went on First Take and he had on the Hall of Fame jacket with all his stats on it, you know how many players would do that? He ain't. People think that's crazy. You know how many players go, I want to do that. And their girlfriends or wives like, no. You're not gonna put because some of us, our identity is what we did athletically, and some of us ain't like, dude, that's cool. It's cool to talk about, but you still you. I ain't made it to one of them NFLPA meetings yet, Marvin. I'm gonna get over there just so I can tell the players, fellas, we're not here to talk about the glory days. We're here to be appreciative of the fact that we're healthy and strong and we're alive. We in our right minds, right? We know where we at. Not, man, I just bought a brand new. I said, well, congratulations, sir. The bank got you for 7 years, and they ain't gonna make the car when you get done paying for it. And whoever came up with HOAs need to get fined. HOAs are the devil.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong there. And as we're speaking of the devil, this is a situation we knew was going to blow up as soon as it happened. It came out today, this past week. Travis Hunter's wife has filed for a divorce, and she wants $40 million. Now, everyone and their mother done warned this man about this woman, and sure as enough, I don't even think they made it 3 months, brother. Ben, let's start off with you, because me and you already went down this road about how these young men need to protect themselves from some of these women that ain't there for you.
Let me tell you something about Mama. Hold on, Marvin. Let me tell you something about Mama real quick. Your mama ain't got no reason to lie to you. And you know what your mom is? She's a woman. She knows women. So when she goes, Marvin, I don't know about her mom. She ain't saying not to do it. She ain't saying Ben or Steve don't do it. She's saying be mindful, because I can see what you can't. I can. And for Travis Hunter, what I do, look, he gonna have to deal with it. It's not gonna be just him. Here's the thing about Travis Hunter. Self-esteem is a real thing, man. And when you lack it, people take advantage of it. If a woman tells you to your face, I don't usually date a guy like you, just stop right there.
E-break.
No, because listen, I went out. Listen, Marvin followed his daddy at SC. I went to the University of Florida. Am I handsome? I don't know. My wife may think so, but I went to Florida, so I'm visible more than I'm anything else. Travis Hunter was told by his lady, "You ain't my type." She didn't say you my type now. She's saying you ain't my type, but we together. Yeah, that's like, and I'm praying for that young man, but I think for Travis, Deion sat him down and told him, Travis, listen to me, man. Look at me. I'm trying to help you. Think about this. If a man that's a model, wife leave him. Most of us don't look like no model. There's a man that's a model, and his wife left him. Travis, I'm not saying you unattractive. I'm saying you ain't no model, and you ain't her type. These ain't even these are blues clues, context clues. She's trying to help you, but Deion said, you know what? Sometimes you got to learn the hard way. Sometimes you got to learn through life. And now it's not that the next woman for him he should be cautious. It's just, if your lady want to tell you about her previous partners, you'll be like, all right. But the reason why you don't really want to know, because you don't want to have to tell her about yours. Sweetie, that was before me. That's cool.
Long time ago.
Exactly. That ain't got nothing to do with me. Now, if y'all run into one of them, what's up? Be respectful. But Travis, if I can see my lady taking pictures with rappers and all this other type of stuff, I could kind of see the type of dude. And if I was going to be her saving grace, I get it. I hope it. Travis, get you some good lawyers, man. Because the ugly side of life happens to some of us. I'm wishing that man the best, man. I'm not trying to pile on because it's publicly humiliating for him, because everybody think they know the insides of his relationship. But Travis, man, be careful, man. Be careful, be mindful, and be ready. Because if she's putting it out there, she wants 40 mil. I mean, do you have 40 mil? My God. So, hey, man, I'm praying for him. As great of a football player he is, man, we ain't bigger than life. And we all listen. And for anybody that's ever loved somebody, as much as you think you listen, the heart wants what it wants, right?
Yes,
and
sir.
Hey, man, I'm wishing them the best. I hope that cooler heads prevail. And I hope that whenever he goes see Coach Prime and they have them private conversation, Prime gonna look at him and say, I know this part too, Travis. I've been divorced twice. I know this.
Yep.
So hey man, but it happens, man. I mean, it's a cautionary tale. If everyday hardworking 9 to 5 blue collar men have somebody try to take everything they got, when you in the 33% tax bracket, you are not exempt. You are not exempt. But we'll see what happens, man. Hopefully they find a way to, reconcile. I'm not saying they're gonna be together, but they find a way to handle it, respectfully. But my goodness, man, maybe her public cries might help him in court. I don't know.
Marvin, what are your thoughts on this one, brother?
Man, this ain't nothing but a good old honey trap. You know what I mean? She spotted him from a mile away. Look, my coach at SC, Keith Burns, used to say, when a man is young and immature, that punani is undefeated. Every single time it's going to get you. If you don't know better and you ain't used to that, and you ain't used to getting certain caliber of partners, and you ain't used to that, being that guy, and you meet somebody who you think is special, and she convinces you she's special, and she gives you something that you think is unique, and you just don't know no better. Because it didn't sound like he had a kind of life where he was out there living it up. He seems like he's a real quiet dude, chill. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And she saw that. And listen, these girls, they read the sports paper. They know who's doing what's what. You know what I mean? This was a classic honey trap, and everybody around him told him that. But like Ben said, man, the heart wants what the heart wants. And until you've gone through a heartbreak, until you realize that everybody out here ain't your friend, that everyone who's talking about, hey, I love you, when we family, they just talking, man. Because, like in the Cam Newton segment, when you got it or they think you got it, they go stick around. You know what I'm saying? But, if he ain't getting that paperwork done the way he should, if his agent, his attorney didn't tell him to get any paperwork with this girl, then he going to learn a very expensive lesson. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. He is. I don't want that for him because he really comes off as a really good dude, really focused, and and we forget that in the media as the media was going after him. But let me tell you something. I know a bunch of Travis Hunters. There's so many Travis Hunters out there on different levels. We talking about, we picking on athletes, 50 athletes. There's so many suckers walking around here, getting done by these chicks. It's crazy. But
Marvin.
Travis is the one that's on that mountain that we are looking at. Man, your boy's a Travis Hunter. You've been a Travis Hunter at some point in your life to some degree. So he learning the game at a high level. He learned this game. It's gonna cost him some bread. But he gonna learn. He will become a lesson. You'll see Travis being brought up in the next rookie symposium or something like that. They may not use his name, you know what I'm saying? But this is a classic honey trap. It's been worked since Adam and Eve. Men at a certain point in their life, they can't fight it. They need that, and that punani is king, and they don't know how to break that out. They don't know how to break that out. You know what I'm saying?
He's speaking facts, Steven. Think about this.
He is, brother.
People be, you know what a professional athlete is? He's a man. He is not. He is a great athlete. One of the best. Listen, every youngin out here, go watch the movie. Go watch the movie. He Got Game. Just go watch it.
Yeah.
People, because it's one of the best movies. Because when they're in the car, listen, you're gonna say no to a lot of things. Everybody ain't gonna drink. Everybody ain't gonna, partake in, illegal drugs or whatever. What you gonna say to her? Because that's the part that can't nobody save you from. And here's the thing: what makes any man attractive? Money. That makes him very attractive to both men and women, right? To both people, right? It's what they say. It's never hard to make new friends when you're making them Benjamins, right? So when it comes to Travis, the one thing a lot of men ain't never heard in their life is, "Oh, you look good." A lot of men ain't never heard that. Women hear that their whole life. So what? Their whole life, right? So when it comes to the guys, can you handle compliments? Can you see it? If you couldn't get her without the money, you shouldn't want her with. That's what my daddy. If you couldn't get her without what you got now, you know that what you got now is the only reason why she's saying, "What's up?" You see her. I mean, I've seen her a bunch of times. Yeah, I mean, we came up in school together. And there ain't a man walking want to be with a woman that say, you ain't my type, but when I'm not your type, why you talking to me? And Marvin knows, listen, Marvin out there at SC, where, I mean, a beautiful woman, just open up your eyes. Good God, LA, they everywhere, right? Travis got somebody who never would have even looked his way, and somebody saying, Travis, what? What are we doing? Because listen, and I was trying not to say it, but suckers come in all shapes, sizes, colors, and athletic ability. It does. Steven, you've been out with a friend before, and you saying, wait a minute, man, why you rent this car? Because, man, I want to impress her. Okay. But how you going to keep her? Oh, yeah. Man. So that's all. There's nothing about Travis Hunter's wife that says she want to go fishing. Travis is probably fishing right now. That boy is from Florida, went to high school in Georgia. His family lives in Savannah. And now he's $40 million. Goodness, man. Have a good game against the Panthers week 1, I guess. Man, that's doing it. But suckers, and listen, Travis, we ain't calling you a sucker. We saying you got sucker tendencies. I'm not calling you a sucker, but the only reason why I can tell you how to get duped is because I've gotten duped, youngin. We know it's happened to the best, but you know, it wasn't for 40 mil though. My goodness.
I'm gonna just end this topic on this one. I think all athletes should go and look what John Cena does. He has contracts written up. If you move it in my house, you have to sign this contract. Protect yourself. Take care of yourself, because not everybody is going to want the same things out of you. So I bring John Cena up because he's probably one of the more popular actors, wrestlers in the world today. And he's never been married, and he doesn't have kids. There's a reason for that, and that's because somebody done hurt that man at some point in time before, and he's protecting what he has and making sure that no one can take something from him. They can't dupe him into things with compliments and giving him this, giving him that. So, I would say to some of these athletes, go look at John Cena. I'm not telling you not to have kids, not to have a family. I'm just saying protect yourself. That's all I'm going to say on that one. Gonna jump forward real quick. We got to make fun of the Dallas Cowboys, and Shaq is also a part of this one because he's made a ridiculous bet onto it. So during the joint practices last week, Dak Prescott made an absolutely ridiculous comment saying that his Cowboys and the Rams are going to see each other in the NFC Championship game. That is the top form of delusion. I'm not sitting there saying they don't have talent. I'm not sitting there saying that it's impossible. I'm just sitting there saying with all the dysfunction that's going around that team right now, the fact that you're telling the Rams you're going to see them in the NFC Championship game is top form delusion. Now, how I'm tying Shaq into this is because Shaquille O'Neal has gone out there and basically said that he's going to make a bet that not only the Dallas Cowboys are going to beat the Philadelphia Eagles week 1, that they go to the Super Bowl. And if that doesn't happen, apparently he's going to be going to one of his restaurants and his Weight Watchers dress that I don't think I want to see Shaq in a dress right now. I hope this is Shaq just talking it up on his podcast and things of that nature. But let's start off with Dak Prescott in his comments that he's going to see the Rams in the NFC Championship game. Marvin, what is going to have to happen for the Dallas Cowboys to get over their postseason shortcomings and actually make it to an NFC Championship game?
First of all, if they don't sign Michael Parsons, none of this is even real. You're talking about an elite level defensive player rush in. He's a game changer. He changes the game just like that. So if he's not signed and in camp and on that roster, this is all for nothing. Jerry Jones gave Dak, hundreds of millions of dollars. Dak is making like $60 million per year. He better say that. You're the quarterback. He's supposed to say that. You know what I'm saying? Like, and you don't want your quarterback saying anything else other than that, to be honest with you. Maybe he has some insight. I haven't been watching their practices. I don't know what's really happening in Dallas Cowboy training camp. Maybe he sees something that we're not privy to. But with that said, when you're the quarterback, When you're the $60 million man, you better come out there confident like that, and you better try to change the narrative where everyone's telling you how, like I'm saying, you ain't gonna be anything if you don't sign that boy on defense. Your season is nothing if you don't get pressure on that quarterback. And other than Michael Parsons, I don't know who they have to get to that quarterback. So I'm not mad at Dak for that. I don't think it's realistic. I think they're probably the third best team in their division, realistically. And I don't see that team making it to the playoffs, especially without their top guy on defense. In regards to Shaq, boy, you better not put no dress on. You better not put no dress on under any circumstance. Do we see your big ass out there looking like a female? You know what I'm saying? Let the females be females. I don't care about jokes, all in jest. We don't need those images. You got sons, man. What you doing? That's my. No, I'm just saying. And for those people who out there and do that, that's all good. Live your life. That ain't Shaq. I don't think. I ain't never heard about Shaq being at Diddy party. I don't know. I'm just saying that I don't even see Shaq in a dress. That's not it. I wouldn't even put that out there as a joke. That's me. That's how I was raised. That's just me. Okay. My son don't need to see that. My daughter don't need to see that. And I don't care if it's for charity or for whatever. Shaq, stop playing. Get your butt back in that Kia and do them commercials or Oldsmobile, whatever that is. That's my team.
All right, Ben. Dak Prescott and Shaquille O'Neal's ridiculous bet.
Dak Prescott don't know. No, he's saying the Cowboys and the Rams gonna see each other in the NFC Championship game. They must gonna meet up. They're gonna meet up as a group and just watch the game. They're not gonna be there playing the game, but they could. Yeah, I mean, Stafford, Devontae, Puka. What suite y'all want? We trying to book the suite. They'll be there. They'll see what it's like, right? Especially Dallas, especially Dak. And and here's the thing about Dak. Dak, I get, just because somebody asks you something, you don't got to respond. And Shaq, I agree with Marvin. Like, what? Like, what? Like, what is this obsession?
Especially betting for Dallas. Like, it's one thing to make a bet you're going to win, so that'll never happen, right? It's another thing to sit there and say, the Dallas Cowboys are going to go to the Super Bowl, and they're going to beat the Philadelphia Eagles week 1. If not, I'm wearing this dress. What?
Yeah, and the thing about the listen, I get it. With some of these guys, you're trying to be funny, but that's any celebrity that wanted to do it for charity back in the day, I get it. You Shaq, just make a bet. Why has it got to be all these other things and sitting there and having that picture in front of you? That's not. What is that supposed to be like? Something we envious of? We're not. There ain't nobody walking around their house. I'm not gonna tell my sons, yeah, this is your daddy, right? When I had to put this dress on for charity or whatever. No. We do charity all the time. Shaq is a funny guy. He makes, he's very entertaining. But Shaq is a Dallas Cowboys fan, like LeBron James, Dallas Cowboys. Dallas Cowboys fans are the weirdest. They are some of the weirdest people. God, they're so weird. And I get most fans are. But at least most fans kind of live in reality. Kind of. If you are a Dallas Cowboys fan, you don't live in reality. Some of the most highly paid psychiatrists on the planet got to live in Dallas, Fort Worth. They got to be making money because they got these fans coming in saying some crazy stuff. Like, what you mean we're going to win it all this year? Who? The Cowboys. The Dallas Cowboys? Yeah.
Oh, I get it now. They're talking about the Women's Flag Football League. They're going to win the championship again next year. That's what it is. That's what it has to be, right?
Of course, because here's the thing, right? We were talking about VHS earlier. I know that America's team got a Netflix special coming out, right? The reason
it came out yesterday.
The reason why it took so long, they say, how we going to convert this so everybody can see it? What you mean? Like, they on VHSs, man. What you mean? Like, this is before DVDs. Huh?
Well, DVDs are relevant now. It's Blu-ray. You got to remember that. There ain't no more DVDs. Are almost dead too.
I will say this about Jerry Jones. He is a master. I'm talking about marketer. He is brilliant at it because I think at this current point in his life and what he's doing, he just wants us to talk about Dallas. Good, bad, right, wrong, indifferent. He wants us to talk about it because outside of talk, when you kick the ball off, that's reality staring you in the face, and it's finna punch you in your face. And his name is Jalen Carter. His name is Nolan Smith. His name is Quinyon Mitchell. So I'm not mad at Dak for saying it. That's like asking somebody in the Super Bowl who you think gonna win. I think we're gonna win. So I get he got to say that. But Dakota, that's his real name, Dakota. Please. You're probably gonna have a good year this year if you stay healthy. They gave you George Pickens. I agree with Marvin. If you don't play your best player, you're not serious about winning football. If you cannot play your best player, what is this holding your best player hostage for? What is that about? Good teams are good teams because they make good decisions. Great teams are great teams because they make great decisions. And elite teams, they make the best decisions. Dallas is none of those. They're not good, they're not great, and they're definitely not elite. They're entertaining. That's what they are. And until they do something else, there's going to be much to do about nothing. But Dak, you kind of got to go to the NFC Championship game now, even if you're not going to make it there. And just show your face. Hey, man, we said we was going to be here, man. Shaq might be walking around with a, I don't know, with a rump.
Oh, man.
That's crazy. Shaq, you're 7 foot, whatever you are. Calm the nonsense down. And if Shaq comes to you and says, make me a dress, tell him no. No, I'm not making it. That's ridiculous.
Listen, as I said, it's one of our favorite pastime here on the family, just making fun of the Dallas Cowboys. They give us so much material; it's so hard not to do it. So I just had to bring that up. Obviously, Dak feels the way he feels, but let's move on. I want to get into some lighthearted stuff. Go to quick talk some baseball real quick. Now, came across this a few weeks ago, and even more, another quote came out from pitcher Matt Stabe. Now they were asking him about his affinity for the card collection. Why is it one of his favorite things? Is Pikachu ain't going to tear his ACL. Charmander isn't going to go get a DUI, and me and Ben, we'd already been beating on this stuff. Some of these things that some of these athletes do, to the point that Matt loves card collecting so much. He has now enlisted fans because he now's got Bryce Harper in on the game. He's and to the point where making some deals out where if any people have any rare good Bryce Harper cards to kind of reach out to them, and they're going to make some deals for some game worn cleats, jerseys, bats, things of that nature. I'm gonna start off with Ben here, right? Obviously, the card collecting, memorabilia collecting thing has kind of really transferred from just being a fan thing to a lot of athletes are doing this stuff. Matt, even to the point, goes and collects cards of guys who's hitting home runs off him. He'll go and buy, one of their autograph cards off of Topps or whatever. That someone hits a home run off him, he'll go and be like, hey, listen, if he gets a digger off of me, he's a guy's worth collecting. When do you think this thing became a change where it's not just a fan thing, it's an athlete thing where, you guys are, obviously we see it in the NFL with the jersey swaps. That's been kind of a big thing over the last, 5, 6, 7 years. But when did this thing change? When did it just become a fan thing to it's absolutely an athlete thing now?
I think it's always been an athlete thing, but I think now it's a way for athletes to really let the fans know how much they appreciate. Because as long as you paying homage to the ones that's always been doing it, because if you're an athlete, you can be known for it because you're a bigger name, got more money, got more fame. Make it more about like the Fanatics way. Do it to where, hey man, these fans have been doing these memorabilia and card events for years. They've never gotten it to a higher level. You can help them get it to that level. Showing up. Because here's the thing. Some of these fans, they don't got as much money as some of these athletes, but some of them are making good money doing this stuff. Because they understand what is rare, what is not. And I think it's all about showing love to the people that are the reason why you are who you are. You are who you are because people paid to see you play, bought your memorabilia. You became a big name because of the people, not because of you. So yeah, if you wanna make it bigger than what it is, because these things are huge now. I mean, you talk about convention centers, top to bottom. And here's another thing too. as good as you think you are at it, you're still an amateur. There are people that's always done it, and they'll say, it's cool, you got that. They'll say, is that a Cal Ripken? Yeah, that's authentic. Is that a Nolan Ryan? So I like the fact, too, it's almost showing your human side. It's not all about me. Hey, man, I'm coming over here to what you guys doing. Let's talk. Now, a professional athlete is DMing, an everyday person that's doing their thing saying, hey, man, how can we collab? I like stuff like that. Kind of like Jordan Spector. Stuff like that it makes you more, personable, man. It makes you approachable. Because some of these athletes realize my fame is dimming. My limelight is gonna go out one day. Let me show the fans, hey man, I might be the most famous person in the room. That don't mean I'm the best in this room. Because once I step out of baseball, off that diamond, and into that convention center, I'm a rookie. Now people gonna want autographs and some pictures, but I'm in there going, oh, you got what? I become engulfed in it real quick. So I that's what I like about it, because I think too often than not, athletes, we don't do our part of making us look human because they only see us on, when we're playing. Hey man, step out of that mode, walk into your normal side, and next thing you know, and it's only going to grow your fan base because you're getting a whole different genre and dynamic of different people, whole different environment. Me being a author, and I'm talking about my book. It's crazy because you ain't talking about football. You talking about ghostwriters and editing. So, hey man, it's a different world. But shout out to him though, man. I like the fact that you showing your fans I'm just as weird as y'all. That's what it really says. I love it just like y'all. And Marvin can tell you when Marvin starts working for the PA, you learn more about more players doing this than you did when you played. Because now it's more intimate. It's on purpose. Hey man, I'm here to talk. I'm here to let you know. So I'm looking forward to that. And I guarantee you what he's really not saying, he's having more fun doing that than playing. He can't say that right now. But because I ain't got to worry about no batters. I ain't got to worry about, you know what I'm saying, Juan Soto. I'm here with y'all doing cars. And guess what? He might be the most famous. He ain't got the nicest cars in it though. He in there trying to trade little kids. A 10-year-old. What's up? I give you this, you give me that. Well, mine is what you're saying. You brought some money with you? Because they still do that in Jacksonville, Florida. They do it like every month. You can walk in there with some cars. You walking out of there $10,000, $15,000. And I'm not exaggerating. This stuff is I ain't got down there yet, but I'm gonna have to let my wife have a weekend vacation. Where you going? I'm just going to Jacksonville. I'll be back. Come back with a couple of dollars. Who knows?
What's your thoughts on this one, Marvin?
Yeah, quick. Before the days of social media, the life of a celebrity or an athlete was much more mysterious. Much, there was much more mystery to who you were and what your life was like. And now with social media, people are living their entire lives online. They're posting stuff. They're showing you their families, their kids, their vacations, their cars, or this and that. And what you're finding out is that NFL players are just like you in many ways. They're just people, and the NFL is their job. And as human beings, we're weirdos and we're this and we're that, just like every other person out there. You know what I'm saying? Like you have all kind of, personalities in the NFL. An NFL or college locker room is the most diverse situation you've ever seen. You have every kind of personality in that locker room, and it's all love and it's all good. These are your boys, and it's all legit. It works. It works. It genuinely works. You know what I'm saying? But now you're finding out these guys have passions just like you. They have curiosities just like you. You realize that for as much as they love football and they're passionate about it, it's their job, and they want to do things outside of their job. They want to enjoy life and have interests outside of their job. With these cards and stuff, man, these are assets. This is business. That's really what's going on. Forget the fantasy. It's a Pokemon this. It's a Ben Troupe rookie card. This is a business. You know what I'm saying? And these people are making money, like Ben is saying. And you're seeing players have other interests. You're seeing them, have other business interests. You see them how they can make money. I think social media is a good thing, and bringing players and everyday people together like that. I think it's great for business and just for all kinds of potential synergy. But yeah, I thought it was cool. I think it's a cool situation, and I'm happy to see that players are able to unite with their fans and make some money and do some business.
Listen, I can't sit there and say it doesn't excite me. Obviously, you look behind me and see I'm an avid collector. Football, baseball, basketball, hockey, combat sports, whatever. I love the fact that not only Matt is getting fans involved, but he's getting his teammates involved. He's got Bryce Harper involved. He's getting everyone he can to get in on this. And as you're sitting there saying, like a lot of times. 10, 15, 20 years ago, stuff like this is, behind closed doors. No one really knows what happened. When the fact that everything's all over the place, social media, news, whatever, we get to kind of see this stuff, and he can connect with more people now. And I also agree with Ben. He's probably having more fun collecting than he is being a professional baseball pitcher right now. So being able to be weird openly with people who do support you, I think it's a great thing. I want to get to one more thing, as I know we're getting close here, and it is another baseball thing. And Rob Manfred's a freaking idiot. This is the proposed realignment for baseball. First off, you're switching everything around. If this is supposed to be what it's going to be, the Philadelphia Phillies are going to be in the AL. As same goes for Atlanta. Atlanta's going over to the AL. There is no NL East anymore. That's all going to be dead and gone. They're renaming the divisions. Listen, I get a realignment to kind of make it make sense as far as logistics go. But switching teams from National League to American League to National League, and just basically doing it off of location, I think is probably the stupidest thing Rob Manfred has done in the past few weeks, because he does a lot of stupid things as far as it goes anymore. I'm going to start off with Ben, because Ben, what's your thoughts on him moving your Braves from the AL to the NL, and now you're not even in there with your rivals anymore? The guys the teams that you've been kind of grown up to hate there. I mean, granted, I still get to hate on the New York teams and the Philadelphia fans will still get to hate on Boston like we normally do, because it's a locational thing. We don't like New York. We don't like Boston. That's just the kind of the way it goes. It's more of a Celtics and Bruins thing more than anything else. We don't really have any real hate for the Red Sox, but you're kind of changing some of the rivalries that made this sport great. What are your thoughts on this potential realignment, Ben?
I hate it, and I hope it gets voted down. I hope it's not even allowed. That would be like, the best way to compare it is this. That would be like New England being in the same conference, as Kansas City, in football. The Jets are no longer a rival of Buffalo, of Miami. The NL East, there's nothing. Look, you got the Nationals. What? You got the Phils. What do we do? Rob Manfred, just sit down. Just sit down. No one cares about what you do. Go back to your little hole that you live in. Crawl back in it. Because it doesn't even make any sense. You're messing something up that ain't even messed up. You're making changes on something that don't need renovations. That's like taking a brand new house and gutting it. Hey, man, we're going to gut everything on the inside. Ain't nobody ever lived here before. What? You want to know why people get mad at baseball? Because of who's the head of it, because of the commissioner. People can't stand baseball because of Rob Manfred. It ain't the product. The AL Southeast. What is that? The AL Southeast. Leave it alone. Baseball is fine. We got our stars. We got our teams. We got our divisions. We got our rivals. Now, do I miss the Yasiel Puig Bumgarner? Do I miss those type of rivalries? Yes. But we're fine, Rob. Go back to your HOV or go back to your gentleman's club, whatever you do. And leave us alone over here in baseball, man. It's fine. Because number one, it's confusing. Number two, it's unnecessary. You know what I'm saying? That would be like cutting your grass every day of the week. Well, do you only cut it one time? Exactly. You cut it and you leave it alone. Let it grow back. Rob Manfred, leave it alone. Love baseball. I love the way it's going with the divisions. Man, what's up with the AL Southeast? It's ridiculous. It's not real. That's what I would say. This goes back to: do you go to USC? Oh, you talking about Carolina? Yeah. Or do you go to SC? Listen. One is prestige, and the other one has Mr. Big Spur. That's his nickname. That's the little Gamecock nickname. You know, so I'm just saying. Leave it alone, man. Rob, leave it alone. That's all I'm saying. Leave it alone.
All right, Marvin, what are your thoughts on this? I know you're not the baseball aficionado here, but
exactly. I think it's inevitable, and I think it's genius. Listen, again, I'm not a huge baseball guy. I love the Yankees and Dodgers, especially around the playoffs. But baseball, as I remember, I've heard recently, they've been hurting in numbers. And I think they said 50% of their fan base is 50 years old and older. Okay. I remember, 10, 15 years ago, they were saying how McGuire and Sosa saved the sport. All right. Baseball at one point was king. It was a king. It was what the NFL is now. And it is nothing like that. And I think in trying to reinvent themselves and reinvent this experience, you got to shake things up, and you have to give younger people new experiences. I think these, the older guys, guys like y'all who love baseball, you have teams that you like, you're traditionalists, and you want things to be what they've been for the last 100 years, but that's not profitable. And the reality is, Rob, he's trying to make money and grow this business and keep this thing alive. And I think this is the route he's looking to take. And I think just like with NIL and the college playoffs and all this and transfer portal, people are struggling with change. They're struggling with something different and something that's new. But he's trying to beat that drum. He's trying to shake that tree. He's trying to find some money. You know what I mean? And that's what it's about. That's the bottom line. So with this realignment, I would assume that they have a plan in place to how they're going to market and appeal to new fans, younger fans, different demographics, which is another baseball issue. But this is him just trying to figure out how to keep this thing alive and how to keep people interested and how to keep this thing fresh and new and different and give us something different. And at the end of the day, it comes down to baseball's existence, and it comes down to making money. And that's that. That's my take.
I'm with Ben on this. It doesn't make sense to me. I may be the old coggart in the room or whatever, but some of the changes is unnecessary. I get like logistically keeping teams with it, but switching both, the Braves and the Phillies over to the AL, I don't know. It just, I could be wrong. There could be something I'm missing, but at first look, it doesn't make sense to me. But as Martin's point goes, that's probably what Manfred's trying to do, is trying to shake the tree up because something's got to fall out. And I agree with the fact that it was hurting for a while, but I think there's more stars now than there was when Sosa and McGuire had to help revitalize the sport. But as we're getting down here to the last minute, Ben, final words, brother.
Marvin, it's always a pleasure having you on, sir. Anytime you want, we roll out the red carpet to you, man. Steven, you know what it is. Look, I don't know where you get your podcast, but make sure you check out the Fan It In. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. We don't talk trash. Well, we talk a little trash. We just have a little fun over here, man. Make sure y'all keep listening.
All right, Marvin, final words, brother.
Hey, it's all good. I had a great time today. Love talking sports. Love hanging out with you guys. Looking forward to doing it again. Find me on Facebook, Marvin Powell III. Fight on.
All right, everyone. Another fun one in the book. Appreciate everyone tuning in. We did have one comment in the chat from overseas. Wanted to make sure you got him in there. Appreciate the comments, guys. We will see you guys next week. Peace out, my friends.